Shalom, giving all praises, honor, glory, and worship to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakodash, double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to you, Akim, upholding the testimony of our Lord and Savior Yahushai in truth and sincerity. This is Psalms 137 and 1. It says, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yeah, we wept when we remembered Zion. And this is David prophesying, right? He's prophesying about Israelites being by the river of Babylon, which that is the river of the Tigris and the Euphrates. All right, that's the Tigris. Okay, Harbor River. All right. Okay, so when it says by the rivers of Babylon, it's speaking of the river of Tigris and Euphrates. All right, which both northern and southern kingdom Israelites were forcibly exiled to the Harbor River, especially those of the northern kingdom. And of course, some of them have migrated. Well, actually, some of them were forced into Media during the Greek Empire. The records tell you that. That's why you see Media Israelite settlements, because the Greeks forced them, the Seleucid Empire forced them into Media. Now, this is what, 400? This is like, all this is taking place 2,000 years, over 2,000 years ago, right? Now, look how close that is to the Caspian Sea. You mean to tell me Israelites didn't cross that Caspian and go into Russia? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. You see? How you think you have the first cognate? The small hats, they talk about they Turks, and these Edomites talking about their Turks. When you guys are not Turks. You know, you're not Turks. But point being, you know, if you really want to be honest, we're the original Turks, the Israelites. We're the original cognate. And large part of that comes from when we migrated, when we were pushed to the east from these different captivities. That's how we got to the Eurasian steppe, because we got pushed out of our land. And then we were forcibly deported into further lands. That's how that happened. And we migrated. All right. But the point being, the scripture says by these rivers, what? It says and this is David prophesying. This is showing you that David was a prophet. David said this hundreds of years before this happened. During the time of King David, there were no Israelite settlements in Harbor River. The Israelites were ruling the earth at this time period. When I say that, the nation of Israel was ruling. We weren't pushed out and exiled of our land. All right. So, but it says, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yeah, we wept when we remembered Zion. See, we was there and we were weeping when we remembered Zion. And King David prophesied of this, showing you that the Bible is real. It says, we hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they carried us away captives, required us a song. What does this say? Captivities of Israel, Judah. Showing you that King David prophesied of this. He prophesied of this. It says, for there they that carried us away captive required us a song, and they that wasted us required us myrrh, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion. How shall we sing Yahweh's song in a strange land? If I forget thee, O Yerushalayim, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. Meaning, David is saying, because David understood that he was going to be reincarnated into slavery. David knew that, because he knew, because of the sins of our fathers, even from us coming out of Egypt, those curses that was in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, David knew that they were going to come upon us. That's why he knew he was going to go in slavery one day when he came back. That's why he said, if I forget thee, and it's also talking about the house of David, the nation of Israel as well. But it's saying, if I forget thee, O Jerusalem, meaning if we forget the laws, statutes, and commandments, which essentially is, yes, you could say if I forget the land because we were pushed out of the land. Yes, of course, that's what it's talking about. It's talking about the land. If I forget Jerusalem, meaning our homeland, because our people, what happened to our people? They have forgotten our homeland. Israelites throughout the earth, they're not talking about, oh yeah, let's let the Lord bring us back to Jerusalem. You got Israelites in Southeast Asia over here worshiping Islam, talking about free Palestine when that's our land. You niggas are being pushed out. You're poor. America's been bumming you because you want to worship Allah. You want to worship Allah and these different idols. When really we're supposed to be in Jerusalem. Well, we're gonna go there when Yahushua returns. But the point being, we're not supposed to forget Jerusalem. These guys, they forget Jerusalem. The niggas in America, they don't be like, oh, let's go back to Jerusalem, let's serve the living God. They don't do that. These niggas don't give a fuck. They worship Esau. The Hispanics, they're not saying, oh, we need to repent and come back to the living God and go back to Jerusalem and have the Lord return us to the Jerusalem. They're not thinking that. These Hispanics are not thinking that. These North American Indians are not thinking that. That's not what's going on in their head. So what? They forgot Jerusalem. But also, if I may, Jerusalem, the Hebrew word is Yerushalayim, which means teaching of peace. That's why I said it's going to the law, statutes, and commandments too. If I forget thy commandments, if I forget thy teach, what is the teaching of peace? The law, statutes, and commandments. How are you going to have peace? You're going to have peace through laws. Laws is what give a society peace and prosperity. Righteous laws. That's why Jerusalem will be considered the polis of peace, the city of peace. Because we'll be exercising the policy and teaching, it means city of peace, but the actual translation is teaching of peace. But we will be exercising the teaching and the policies that is going to bring forth peace on earth. We're going to be instituting that through our institutions. All right. And so it says, if I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Meaning we're not supposed to covet or desire these other countries or territories over Jerusalem. And it's also meaning we're not supposed to covet and idolize these other religions, nor philosophies, nor statutes. Like, for instance, the Sharia is a format of statutes, the Sharia law. But if you choose Sharia law, that means you put in Sharia over Jerusalem. You're not supposed to do that because the Heavenly Father did not sanction Sharia law. Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, did not sanction Sharia law. He sanctioned Mosaic law. He gave us Mosaic law. He didn't give us Sharia law. Mosaic law and Sharia law are at odds. The Sharia law has been changed, as the prophets would say. It doesn't add up to the Mosaic. It's different laws, and the Mosaic law is a lot more detailed. You can't have peace with a law that vague as the Sharia. You need a very detailed law, such as the Mosaic that was given to Moses. And that law has not been changed. But these guys changed Moses' words. They said that if you steal something, you're supposed to get your hand cut off. Moses didn't tell us that. Moses never said that. Moses said that you're supposed to, and it's different situations based upon stealing of how you're supposed to treat that person. It's very detailed and intricate, but you're supposed to pay back sevenfold, I think. If you steal from somebody, you're supposed to pay back that with more. You're not supposed to cut nobody's hand off. But see, that's what the fucking Muslims will tell you. They tell you, let's cut niggas' hands off if they stole. But that's not what the scriptures say. Showing you the indifference, the inconsistency. All right? It says, verse 7. All right? Verse 7, it says, remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom. All right. It says, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it even to the foundation thereof. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what they said in that, because I was actually reading I came across, I just don't read the Talmud on my off days. But because I was researching, I was reading the second book of Esdras, the 12th chapter, and I did some research. I was like, okay, because the second book of Esdras, the 12th chapter is speaking of the different Edomite Caesars over the ancient Roman Empire. It was speaking about them before they were even born. It was speaking about them 400 years before there was a Roman Empire, not a Roman Republic, but an empire. And some of my research, it quoted and referred to the Talmud, and in the Talmud it said that the Romans are the descendants of Esau, and that it was talking about Titus and Titus, or was it Titus or Domitian? I think it was either Titus or Domitian. I think it was Domitian. It was speaking about the no. It wasn't Domitian. I think it was Titus. It was one of the brothers. Those two were brothers. I think Domitian succeeded Titus. Domitian was the last of the 12 Caesars. But point being, all right, they were saying that the Lord Yahweh, the God of the Bible, killed Titus for a judgment against destroying the temple of God in Jerusalem. They said that. In the Talmud, they were trying to connect that to verse 7, where it says, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it even to the foundation thereof. Which, yeah, you can do that. You know what? That's true. You can do that. But that's also talking about the Edomites during the time of the Babylonian period in 576 BC. Because when you go to the records in the Apocrypha books, yes, the Babylonians and Nebuchadnezzar came and besieged Jerusalem and took us away captives. But specifically speaking, it was the Edomites who encouraged them, supported them, provided intel, and it was the Edomites who actually physically burnt down the temple of God, the so-called white race, which are the Romans. So the Talmud, they were connecting it to the ancient Romans, which, yeah, you can do that, but they didn't only do it during the time of the Roman Empire. They also did it during the time of the Babylonians. And they did it during the time of the Greeks, because the Romans are the same genealogy of the Greeks. They're Edomites. I'm not talking about the ancient Paleo Greeks. I'm talking about the people who migrated into that landmass and called themselves Greeks. The same way that the Caesars were pharaohs. When you go to Egypt today, you'll see huge depictions carved in stone of pharaohs that are white Edomites from the Roman Empire. Does that mean that they're Egyptian? No, they're not Egyptian, but they did move to Egypt, and they conquered Egypt, and they called themselves Egyptian. That's the same thing what the Romans did in Greece. They're not Greeks. They came and killed off the original Japhites, and they called themselves Greeks, Ionians, or whatever. That's what they did. That's what they did in America. Is the Edomite? Are they the original North Americans? No, they're not. They came and conquered America, and now of course, America is named after Americano Vespucci, but you get the point. It's the same principle. Instead of keeping it as being called Greece, as they did in the ancient world, they changed it to being called America in here. All right. But the point being, these are Edomites. The point being, they did this during the time of the Hellenistic period. That's where you get Hanukkah from, because those pieces of shit, rat, bastard, maggots, destroyed. They defiled the temple. They sacrificed swine's flesh on the temple. They pulled down the priest chambers, and if it wasn't for Judas Maccabees and those resilient men, they would have destroyed the temple during the time of the Greeks. But thank God the Lord raised up the Hasmoneans to put it to them pieces of shit. It says, "O daughter of Babylon, Now, let me get the scripture showing you that the Edomites burnt down the temple during the time of the Babylonian siege. Let's prove that. Let's prove that. So I'm going to go back to Psalms 137. Matter of fact, I'm going to just keep reading so I don't have to go back to it. It says, "O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed." So Edom, the Edomites are considered the daughter of Babylon, showing you that that's why America is Babylon the Great. America is Babylon the Great. Why? Because the Edomites. The Edomites rule America, and then they follow the customs of ancient Babylon, such as Christmas. Christmas is an ancient Babylonian custom. Showing you this is the daughter of Babylon. All right. They're not celebrating Christmas in fucking in Japan. All right, which now they are. That's because America conquered them. And that's going into the image of the beast. All right. It says, "O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us." How did you serve us? You put us in cargo slave ships. How did you serve us? You raped our women and told them and destroyed their minds and destroyed their future and their honor and their chastity. How did you do that? How did you poisoned us? All right. You turned our sons into being sodomites and prostitutes. This is what this maggot did. Words can't describe how we truly feel about you. That's why we read the Bible. It says, verse 9, "Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones." Like I said, that's why we read the Bible. Verse 9 again, "Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones." Words can't describe how we feel. That's why we read the Bible. Happy shall he be, verse 9 of the Bible. Psalms, the 137th chapter, the 9th verse. "Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones." Words can't describe how we feel. That's why we read the Bible. And you Edomites are going down. Let's go to show you that these Edomites are the ones who destroyed the temple. They burned down the temple and during the Babylonian period. They did it during the Roman period too. It's always been Esau. Esau has always been the villain against God. That's why the Bible calls him the devil. Not because he's a red motherfucker with horns on his head, but because he's a adversary. See, these people don't know the meaning of words. That's why they're too slow. The term devil means adversary, man. Pardon me, the term Satan means adversary. That's why we call him Satan. The term devil means deceiver, diabolos. And that's why, and what does this nigga do? He deceives. We don't believe in mythology. We believe in a piece of shit rat bastard Edomite that's the devil the Bible speaks of. We don't believe in Hades. We don't believe in fucking Greek mythology. We believe in the Bible that tells us that the so-called white man is the devil. Don't talk to us about no damn slave religion where it's a motherfucker underneath ground and with a pitchfork talking about he's sighted and shit. Because that's not the case. That's just not the case. Now let's go to bam. Right here. This is the book of first. This is the first book of Ezra, the fourth chapter, which technically speaking, if those of you who are not familiar with the Apocrypha books, it's technically the third book of Ezra. There's 4 books of Ezra. You have 2 in the Bible that you typically would have, like the regular Bible. I say regular Bible because the Apocrypha was taken out of the Bible. Most people don't know what the Apocrypha is. But anyway, it's the same man who wrote the book that you see in the regular Bible. All right. It's the second Ezra, the 4th chapter and the 45th verse. It says, "Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple," meaning Yahweh is going to build up our temple. He's going to build us up. It says, "which the Edomites," watch this, which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldeans. So it was the so-called white man that brought his maggot ass into Israel when the Babylonians came, and they burned the temple down. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why? Well, that's because they the devil the Bible speaks of. Only the devil would burn down God's temple. Who else is burning down God's temple? The devil. Who would do that? The devil. Who will burn down the temple of God? Satan. And that's why we call you Satan. Because you're the adversary of God. You're the enemy of God. So let's go back to, well, we already read that. Let's go back to, what scripture was I on? Well, that was actually pretty much in that regard. So what we can do is we could go to Hosea, the first chapter, and matter of fact, no, we're gonna go to Ezekiel. Pardon me for the but we're gonna go to the book of not Ezekiel. Let's go to we'll go to Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. So many chapters, so many books we can really go to. Let's just go to the 35th chapter, the book of Ezekiel. And it says it's entitled Prophesy Against Mount Seir. Now, Mount Seir is speaking of the Edomites. And when it says Mount Seir is speaking of where it's like when you say Mount Zion is talking about the Israelites. Mount Seir is speaking of the Edomites. That's a part of the inheritance of the Edomites, Mount Seir. All right, the sons and daughters of Esau. All right, that's a symbolic name for the Edomites. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord, because the Lord's not telling us to prophesy against the actual mountain. When it says mountain, the term mountain, har in the Hebrew, it represents government or power. So when it says prophesy against Mount Seir, it doesn't mean let's go over to Mount Seir in Arabia, not in Arabia, in Jordan, and let's look at that mountain, and we're going to go look at the mountain, and we're going to say, we're going to prophesy against the mountain of, no, it's talking about we're going to prophesy against the government of the Edomites. Verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, prophesy against it, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and will stretch out my hand against thee, and will make thee most desolate. How is he going to do that? Because he's going to destroy America completely with thermonuclear missiles. And oh, you Turks, you're going to get touched too. And by the way, you're not a Turk. I'll tell you that much too. You people in Turkey, Azerbaijan, you ain't nothing but some descendants of the Romans. You're not Turks. You're Edomites, and the Lord's going to touch you. He's going to touch Mount Seir. It don't matter where you at. It's a long distance hate affair because the Lord hates you people, man. The Lord hates the Edomites. Yeah, the God of the Bible, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, hates the Edomites. What you mean he hates the Edomites? Well, I'll tell you. Well, how about go to the book of Malachi? Don't talk to me. You go listen. Let the prophets tell you what he said. Because the book of Malachi tells you the Lord hates the Edomites. And then they say, well, that was the old. I can already hear the Christians go, well, that was the Old Testament. God changed. Well, first of all, no, God don't change. Second of all, we can go to the book of Romans, the 9th chapter, where God says, as is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Paul told you that. Paul told you that the Lord hates the Edomites. Right? So all this love shit. This man, Esau ain't showed love to the world. This nigga done dropped bombs on the Japanese. He done dropped bomb on the Japanese. You understand? The atomic bombs. All right. He was threatening to drop them on the Koreans. That's why the Koreans so bugged the hell out with missiles. They got missile demons on them. The North Koreans they got missile spirits on them. They're obsessed with missiles. All they fucking think about is missiles. I seen Kim Jong-un, his sister, she had a missile necklace, iced out. I was like, this bitch has got demons. And they gonna shoot him. They gonna shoot him on America. Them bad boys. Kim Jong-un got hypersonic missiles now. The Russians gave him the hypersonics, and he got missiles that can reach any part of America easy, lightweight. He got missiles that can go for 9,000 miles. And so that's the Lord's work and vengeance against Mount Seir. He's gonna use these nations to destroy Esau's power structure. including Russia, because Russia is also going to be destroyed. America's going to shoot their missiles on Russia and destroy Russia. And Russia damn sure is going to shoot their missiles on America and annihilate America. One thing about Russia, the landmass of Gog and Magog, that land isn't going to be destroyed. It's just going to get hit. Certain, like Moscow is going to get rocked, and different places are going to get hit. But that land, especially over the way in Siberia, all that snow, ice land, that stuff is going to be beautiful farmland and beautiful fertile land in the kingdom. The missiles going to melt a lot of that. A lot of the missiles that's going to hit Russia is going to melt a lot of that snow. And the missiles from America, the missiles from that's going to hit America is going to melt down a lot of the it's going to raise the temperature on the planet. That's why the elect, when we take up, we're going to be delivered from that when we're taken up. A lot of people are going to die. Everybody in America is going to die except you, the elect. All right, point being, let's get back to the scriptures. It says, verse 3, it says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate, and I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. Because right now, you Edomites don't know that the Lord Yahweh is really the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You don't know that he's the God of the universe because he's allowed you to just act like a fucking buffoon all over the planet. He allowed you to go walk around, talk about you some Turks when you're not no damn Turks. He allows you small hats to be like, you know what? Well, we was Turks, but now we're going to convert to Judaism. These niggas done did like 3 or 4 or 5 different conversions of identity. First they was Edomites, then then they was Romans. Then after they was Romans, they were talking about they was some fucking cognate. You ain't no goddamn cognate. Then they were talking about they were Khazarians. Then they said they was Khazarians. Then they fucking saying, oh, you know what? We're Jewish. We're Jewish. They just keep converting who they. That's what a vagabond does. That's what a thief does. He keep changing his identity so you can't pinpoint him. But we got you. See, we're the detectives of Yahweh Shemal Shah. We got you, sucker. You know you fucked up, right? We got you. We see you. We see you. And if you want to talk about the Talmud, let's talk about the Talmud. But the Talmud call you Edomites. Because you ain't nothing but Romans, man. It says, and I will make thee most desolate. It says, and by the way, the Bible calls you Edomites. All right, we don't fuck the goddamn Talmud. That shit is wicked. I'm just making a point. The Holy Bible calls you Edomites. Verse 4, it says, verse 5, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. Oh, now we're seeing why the Lord's going to do all this terrible stuff to the Edomite nation. Because one could ask, like, dang, why he hate them? Why would he do all that to them people? Why is he going to do the Edomites, the so-called white race, the way he's about to do them and wipe the planet with them? Why? Well, the reason why is right here. We have the reason why. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. Because you Edomites have hate in your heart. It says, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. Because you tried to exterminate the tribe of Gad. That's why America's going to be destroyed by missiles. Because you put us in cargo slave ships. And you put us on them damn sugar plantains. Those sugar plantations, man. We're getting bit up by snakes and dying of all type of diseases. All right. Well, you had us in them fucking cotton fields, man. All right. Where you belittled us and you put us in zoos, man. These Edomites put us in zoos and called us animals. This is why you about to lose terribly. This is why you going into slavery. Don't think that you just about to die and that's it. You ain't just about to die, nigga. You going into slavery. You about to be reincarnated. You're going to be reincarnated into slavery as an Edomite. You're going into slavery under the Israelites. The same way King David died and he was reincarnated into slavery underneath these filthy Edomites. You likewise are going into slavery. If King David went into slavery, then you know you're going into slavery. You're not better than King David, you Edomites. If all the prophets went into slavery, why? Because the prophets are Israelites. Why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? Why would you think you just about to fucking go crawl in a rock and deliver yourself from missiles, and you just live a happy dandy life on some fucking powdered milk all your whole life underneath a rock? No, we're gonna come get you out of them bunkers. That powdered milk ain't gonna deliver you, niggas. It's like I like to play. I like to have fun with this thing, man. You know. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. That's what they did. They did that during the time of the Romans. They came in. The Romans came and besieged us. They did it during the time of the Babylonians. And you fucking Chaldees, you going into slavery too. All right? The fucking Babylonians are going into slavery, which they're Assyrians. Pieces of shit. You're going into slavery. All right? And most Assyrians don't even know who the hell they are now. They call themselves Arabs, probably. Because really the term Arab just means mix. It's a Hebrew word, Arab, which means mix. There's no such thing as an Arab nation. There's no such thing. You have such thing as an Ishmaelite nation, which a large portion of the Arabs are Ishmaelites. They descend from Ishmael. There's no such thing as no goddamn Arab. Arab means mixed, because in the Middle East it's a bunch of mixed races of people. It's different nations of people all over there. All right, there's no such thing as an Arab nation. These people are idiots talking about they're Arabs. You're not an Arab. You're not an Arab. You're an Ishmaelite, or you probably are a Syrian, or a Shurite, not a Shurite, Aramite. All these nations are still on the earth. They don't even know who they are. Some of them do, because I remember I Ubered this guy from the Middle East, and he said he was a Syrian. He's like, I'm a Syrian. I know that. I was like, oh shit, okay. That nigga knew he was a Syrian. But most of these heathens don't know nothing about that. They just call themselves Arabs, and they speak Arabic. A lot of them don't even speak those ancient tongues. Anyway, let's get back to Esau. My bad. It says in the time that their iniquity had an end. That's what he did to us in slavery too. Look how he treated us. And when the time of their iniquity had an end was talking about the 3.5 years. All right, that's really going into their not 3.5 years, 3.5 days. The prophecy of the 3.5 days, 1,203 square days, as Daniel spoke of it, I believe, or it might be in the Revelations. It says that. I know Daniel speaks of. Daniel calls it a time and times and a half a time, which it's all talking about the same period. It's talking about from 1619 to 1969. And then after 1969, what did Edomites do? They still persecute us. They still oppress us. That was the time period that you had an opportunity to, I'm being facetious, but according to prophecy, after that time period, if you keep persecuting us, you're forwarding the affliction. It's like the prophecy of the 1969. After that, you've been forwarding our affliction. All right? You still, you over here poisoning us and shit. And you turn our women into whores, and turn our men's into sodomites, and you stealing our organs, selling our organs on the black market, and turning our people, kidnapping our women and children, and turn them into sex slaves, different parts of the earth. That's what the Edomite, that's what the so-called white man does. That's why he's going down. He's doing it now. He's not like, oh, it was just a couple hundred years ago, nigga doing. No, he's doing that now. He's doing the same shit. It's the same nigga. It's the same rat bastard. It's the same nigga. It's the same motherfucker from 2,000 years ago. This is the same devil that we're dealing with. This is Nero. All these fucking assholes are back. Caligula, Antiochus the Fourth Epiphanes. We know who that is. The man of great millstone. We understand who Antiochus the Fourth Epiphanes is. That piece of shit. Because he's been reincarnated too. I mean, these things that's just things that we really believe through faith. You can't take away our faith. As you're like, well, you can't substantiate that. Well, you ain't gonna be able to substantiate when Yahweh shall return. It says, verse 6, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain man. In thy hills and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolation, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. See, because right now these heathens, these Edomites, they don't believe Yahweh is who he is. They think he lightweight. They think that he not they don't think he a living God. They think he like one of these damn pagan gods that these other heathens worship. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is not like the God of the Arabs. He's not like Allah. Yahweh is a God that liveth. He's not like the God of the East Indians with the nigga who got 1,000 arms. He not like that nigga. He's a living God. He's a living God. You know. But you know, and he don't need 1,000 arms. He got a right hand, and Yahweh Shah's gonna get him the victory. But it says, "Blood shall pursue thee, Mount Seir, you Edomites." Just letting you know. It says, let's continue in verse 9 for you, Edomites. It says, I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine. Who is he talking about? It's talking about the northern and southern kingdom, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Don't say it's not, because we can go to Revelations 11 chapter and prove it. The two olive branches. It says, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas Yahweh was there. And this is what they said. They said, we're going to possess the blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. And right now you do. You do. You got us in your possession, in your grip. But this is not for perpetuity. You guys are about to lose. We ain't going to lose. Well, that's what the Germans said in 42 and 43. See, the Imperial Army of Japan, they was feeling good about themselves in 39. See, Mansa Musa, he thought he would never lose. He thought his generations would last another 1,000 years. Only a couple hundred years later, the richest man on earth, Mansa Musa, only a couple hundred years later, his ancestors, his children, his sons and daughters went into cargo slave ships. So don't tell me judgment not gonna come. Verse 11, therefore as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. You treated us with so much hate, you Edomites. We talking to the bankers, we talking to the politicians, we're talking to your noblemen, we're talking to your special forces, we're talking to everybody. You treated us with so much hate, man. So much hate. I hope it was worth it. I really do. I hope the hate that you had for your brother. We were supposed to be brothers, and you betrayed us, and you dishonored Abraham, and you dishonored our father Isaac. It says, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. Verse 12, it says, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate. They are given to us to consume. Oh, you Ottomans. We haven't forgotten. We haven't forgotten about the slave chambers that you put us in to rot and to marinate into misery. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. You in trouble. You in trouble, Esau. He heard them. Everything you say in your imagination, in your vain mind, he heard. He took a note on that. He took a note. He highlighted it. He saved it in the files, and he's going to address you. He said, Yahweh said, I have heard them. Verse 14, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. What does that mean? I mean, when the earth is brought back into joy and prosperity in the kingdom, essentially, he's going to make Esau desolate. Now, that's really the full essence of that manifestation is after the first 1,000 years of our kingdom. Because the first 1,000 years, Esau is going to be in slavery. But after that first 1,000 years, all right, guess what? We know what happens next. Read the book of Obadiah. And these other nations, even though they're gonna be in slavery, the other nations, y'all gonna be in slavery. I'm talking about the other nations that's not Edomites. They still going into slavery under us, but they're not gonna be treated as bad as we're gonna treat the Edomites. Their slavery is not gonna be as hard as the Edomite slavery, but it's still gonna be hard. And then over time, when they start acting right and they show themselves to be loyal servants and obedient servants to us, we'll start showing a little mercy to them, you know. But they have to prove themselves. They got to show themselves to be obedient to us. Verse 15. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou should be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it. See, he's making a point. It's not just these folks. No, all of you. And they should know that I am Yahweh. Shalom.